that, we did leave Rainford, but we didn't go straight to our new house. We went to live with my uncle Pat and our Frankie, and I think he was on Queen's Drive at the time in Liverpool. And my mum and my dad every day used to take us all the way down to Rainford from Liverpool to go to school. And I always remember going down the Lancs, and every time we'd hit the light, we'd always go, oh, it's another red light. And there was always red lights every time we went down, never ever a green light. And then eventually we got to move into Upholland. And before we'd moved to Upholland, I remember Mum and Dad, they'd gone to see this house and they loved this house. And I remember it was so important to them that they got it absolutely spot on with their new family home, that they went and knocked on all the neighbours' doors. So there was Kathy Mitchell there at the time, and Tony Mitchell, and Anne and Peter Wilson, and there was the Donagers, and there was Anne and Terry Rice, and I can't remember the old lady that lived across the road in the bungalow. I can't remember her name, but my mum and dad went and knocked on every door and spoke to all the neighbours beforehand, just to make sure that it was, you know, a good place to bring their family up. And it was really good, because there were so many kids who were our age, and the neighbours were just fantastic. And we were in this lovely cul-de-sac where we could just play out, not on a main road anymore, so we could play out in the cul-de-sac. And my dad would come out and he'd play rounders with us and take us on the sledges in winter, and we'd go for walks up the Beacon. Fantastic autumn and winter walks, and it was just this like whole new life, and it was brilliant. But one of the biggest things that I'll never forget, because now I'm a parent as well and know how difficult life can be, trying to keep up a job and everything else and a household, that my mum and dad really thought hard about whether they should move schools for me and our Paul from Rainford to Upholland, where we live now. And they decided that they weren't going to move schools, because they knew me and our Paul were settled in the school we were, had all our friends, we were happy there. So every day, without fail, they drove down to Rainford to take us to primary school, and then it obviously got to the time where we were to go to high school in St Helens. And our Paul said, no, I want to go with my friends to this high school in St Helens. And my mum and dad went to appeal for that, because it was really important to them that they listened to us, and they've always listened to us and supported us no matter what we've wanted to do in life. They've always supported us. So that was sort of my earliest memories. One of the biggest memories as well, of course, was Christmases. My mum and dad used to make the most fabulous, and still do to this day, fabulous Christmases for us. Everything absolutely perfect. Everything was the routine of Christmas Eve, and I remember I couldn't sit on the couches on Christmas Eve because my mum just washed all the cushions on the couches, and we used to have to sit on the carpet, but the carpet would be damp because she'd been on her hands and knees scrubbing at the carpet, and more than likely my dad would be glossing the door upstairs or something, because that's what my mum liked to do, you know, last minute. And I always remember on a Christmas morning we'd come down, and that smell of plastic and newness and this excitement of just having this huge sack, and there'd be one side for our Paul on the fireplace, one side for me, the other side of the fireplace, and just a stocking. And I don't know how they afforded it, I really don't, because I know how costly things can be today. Just everything that a kid could ever wish for was in this stocking. And as you'd get from the top of the stocking, the smaller bits, the stocking fillers, and you get down further down, and the presents would get better and better and better, and then your best present was down at the bottom of the stocking. But you didn't want to get to the bottom of the stocking because you were so glad about the ones that you got at the top. And then we'd go and have our English breakfast, and then we'd go in and sit down and watch a bit of telly and play with our new toys, and my mum would be slaving away in the kitchen making a fabulous dinner for us, most fabulous Christmas dinners, Rita's roast buds, best. And we'd always invite somebody over, so sometimes we'd have my Uncle John over, sometimes we'd have my Auntie Patsy over, sometimes we'd have Anne McGivern over. Just depended really. We always had people over. Sometimes we'd have little Christmas dinners on our own, but we'd always have people over. We'd go to church. The beach, just everything was a set routine. Our Kathy and Patsy would come and visit. Just fabulous Christmases, the best Christmases. And then on Boxing Day we'd go and see my nana in Liverpool, or we might go and visit my Auntie Patsy. It'd just be great, just every year without fail, really good. And New Year, again, parties at our house, always parties. And I always remember thinking, did I want my dad home for Christmas or New Year, because that was the flip of the coin that we got every year. And I always said New Year because I saw all the other families with all their families, their mums and dads were there. But my mum always said Christmas Day, but it was just what our personal choice was at the time.